Several terrorists are eliminated in a series of operations that targeted their gatherings and hideouts in the countryside of Daraa, Quneitra and Lattakia. Scores of terrorists are killed in Baghdad, Al-Mosul, Al-Anbar, Salah ad-Din and Babel. 6 Palestinians and a foreign correspondent are killed in the explosion of a missile left over by the Israeli aggression on Gaza. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Irado Kikorian with the news in English. Terrorists from the so-called state of Iraq and the Levant committed a massacre yesterday evening against the secure villages of Bashar, villagers of al-Bahra in Deir Ezzor's eastern countryside, killing 13 citizens, 4 of them from one family. Quoting eyewitnesses from the village, a source in the governorate of Deir Ezzor said that terrorists from Daesh stormed the village at night, driving cars and carrying weapons, attacking the houses and the citizens. Syrian Arab Army units killed many terrorists, injured others and destroyed a number of vehicles with all terrorists inside in a series of operations against their hideouts and gatherings in Daraa and al-Quneitra countryside. A military source said that Syrian Arab Army units targeted the terrorist gatherings in 8 sites in Daraa countryside, killing many terrorists and injuring others. Syrian Arab Army units also destroyed a number of the terrorists' cars in al-Nuaymiyah and al-Ghara al-Sharqiyah, killing all terrorists inside. Meanwhile, a Syrian Arab Army unit targeted a terrorist gathering in Breqa in al-Quneitra countryside, killing many terrorists and injuring others. A unit of the Syrian Arab Army eliminated a number of terrorists who tried to infiltrate into Zagharu village in Lattakia northern countryside, including their leader. A military source said that the Syrian Arab Army units targeted al-Nusra terrorists in 6 different villages in the northern countryside, killing and wounding dozens of them, as well as destroying a big number of their vehicles equipped with heavy machine guns. Iraqi Prime Minister designate Haidar al-Abadi has called on all Iraqi political factions to set a common national vision to solve all the problems of the country. Abadi warned that Iraq has been facing a number of challenges targeting its unity, social fabric and components, and this requires combined efforts to encounter terrorism, which is one of the government's priorities. The Iraqi Prime Minister designate urged all states and international and regional forces and organizations to stand on Iraq's side in these critical circumstances to confront the forces of terrorism that have perpetrated massacres against all the components of the Iraqi people, warning that such forces have posed a threat to all the countries of the region as well as to international peace and security. Former Iraqi Prime Minister al-Maliki has said what happened in Iraq was a constitutional breach and nothing would change until a decision is issued by the federal court in reference to designating Haidar Abadi as Prime Minister by the President of the Republic, Fuad Masoom. Al-Maliki called on the political blocs to declare their rejection of the constitutional breach, adding that what has happened has no less impact than the collapse of Ninawa. Meanwhile, Iraqi sources said that a suicide bomber attacked a checkpoint at dawn today near the house of the new Iraqi Prime Minister designate Haidar al-Abadi in Baghdad. On the other hand, Iraqi Army, in cooperation with other forces in Salah ad-Din province, foiled an attack launched by ISIL terrorists in At-Tuz district, destroying 3 vehicles and killing scores of gunmen. Other army units attacked terrorist gatherings in Baghdad, Mosul, Al-Anbar and Babylon, inflicting heavy losses upon them. Welcome back. As the truce in Gaza enters its 2nd day, 6 Palestinians were killed following the explosion of an Israeli missile left over during the latest aggression on Gaza. Local residents expressed worry that such incidents may occur again, especially that dozens of Israeli missiles did not explode, which may cause a serious threat to the lives of hundreds of Palestinian citizens. In support of the distressed inhabitants of Gaza, the member states of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of the Americas, ALBA, are getting ready to send a plane of 12 tons of humanitarian assistance to the Palestinian people to confront the repercussions of the Israeli brutal aggression on Gaza. The plane that is getting ready to take off from Caracas in Venezuela has attracted a popular and official attention, with Palestinian flags hoisted at the airport. In adopting such humanitarian stand, the ALBA member states are thus confirming their support for the Palestinian people, denouncing Israeli crimes and the war of genocide against the besieged people of Gaza. In the occupied Palestinian lands, scores of Palestinians were injured when Israeli occupation troops attacked the quarters of occupied Jerusalem and the villages surrounding the Holy City, as well as several areas in the West Bank. Dozens of suffocation cases were reported among the Palestinians due to Israeli gas bombs. Several other Palestinians were wounded, with Israeli soldiers' rubber bullets fired at their homes. First aid crew evacuated 3 houses after they had been exposed to tear gas bombs. Israeli occupation troops also detained 60 Palestinians during storming in operations in several neighborhoods of the Holy City and several villages in the West Bank. In a new Israeli violation of the sanctity of Al-Aqsa Mosque, occupation authorities started to build a new bridge above al-Maghreba road in order to connect between the area south of Buraq and Al-Aqsa Mosque. The aim is to pave the way for wider violations and transforming the Islamic site into a synagogue. Finally, and in our local news, the Minister of Health in the caretaker government, Dr. Saad al-Naif, the UN Population Fund representative in Syria, and representatives of the UN High Commission for Refugees have inspected the health care services offered to hundreds of displaced Syrian families that have returned from the Lebanese Ersal village in Qudsaya suburbs in Damascus countryside in the wake of the terrorist gangs' attacks against them. The makeshift centers present various kinds of health services that include children's vaccinations, in addition to health care offered to women and patients of chronic and common diseases. With this, we end our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region, and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Vani Genjan, but after a short break.